Hey everyone, welcome back to our discussion about artists that are going to be at the Gen Con art show here in this 2025 convention. This is the G through K artist list, so we have several that we'll be covering. But if you didn't already know, Gen Con is the largest tabletop gaming convention in North America. It has over 750,000 square feet of awesomeness. About 70,000 people or more make it every year, and it's got everything from board games, card games, RPGs, all the stuff you need for that, and of course, art. Artist Alley is the location where many of the artists have booths where they'll sell different products. One of the cool services that most of them offer is signing things. For our purposes, we're talking about card artists. So you can bring your cards from your favorite card games to get signed. Some of them offer some cool services, like having shadow signatures. Some of them will do little doodles on your card along with their signature. So whatever you want to have done, you can talk to those artists and see. They do typically charge for their signatures, and they usually also charge more for some of the more special features. In today's video, we'll be featuring art from Quintin Gleim, Cory Godbey, Lucas Graciano, Devin Elle Kurtz, and Eelis Kyttanen. Just as a reminder, we have a lot of cards that we're going to be going through, so if there are any that you want to take any extra looks at, make sure you pause the video and take the time you need. Also remember that I have a spreadsheet that I've included that has links to all these cards so that you can go back and find the ones that are in your collection or be able to find them to purchase them to bring with you to Gen Con. We actually have a lot of art to go through in this one, so we're going to just jump into Quintin Gleim's cards and get rolling. Quintin currently has 19 Magic cards, and I've really liked what I've seen from him. A lot of his pieces have like these cute characters, but he adds some dark grittiness to them and makes them seem a lot more believable in a fantasy like war situation like Magic the Gathering often is. On this first page from Quintin, I really like this card, Embrace the Unknown. It's kind of that Western theme to it, but it's really got, I don't know, there's something about it. It just draws me in and I could look at it for a long time. Plus it also has the full art treatment, which, is a lot better when you get that signed. And on our second and last page for Quintin, the one that sticks out for me is Sylvan Scavenging. It's also got an art card, it's full art, it's pretty cute looking, but also has that detail that kind of gives it some realism to it as well. Okay, now heading over to Cory Godbey. Cory actually is a first for the series. He is our first Lorcana artist. So he has 6 Lorcana cards as well as 7 Magic cards that we're going to be looking at today. We will start with his Lorcana cards, and looking at these cards, nostalgia will just smack you upside the face, and I think that's something that Lorcana does really well at. My favorite one here is Remember Who You Are. Just the colors around this are pretty incredible and they really pop. I think a signature on these would look really phenomenal. Cory also has some really cool special Magic cards. They're all cute little creatures. I really like Elonia, this little otter, but I also like the Escaping to the Wild one because who doesn't just love a good puppy dog? And now we'll be moving on to Lucas Graciano. Lucas by far has the most cards in this particular video, so we'll have a lot of time to look at his works. His pieces have a lot of epic character to them. They have a ton of detail, lots of background interest in them. It's just, he's got some really beautiful pieces that'll be really recognizable to any Magic as well as World of Warcraft fans. So far, he has 176 Magic cards, but 3 of them are actually double-sided cards, so he's got 179 pieces. He's also got 23 World of Warcraft cards. Okay, on our first page of Magic cards here, we've got a lot of big epic creatures here that look kind of terrifying. I really like the Advent of the Worm card. The colors on that, plus all the detail that you can kind of see in that scene that he's destroying, are pretty cool, and a signature on this would look pretty great. On the next page, I really like the Borderland Explorer as well as the Boros Challenger. Both of them kind of have a similar character framing. The characters kind of standing similarly, and you can also see some of the surrounding area. That's what I really like about them. There's a story about a character, but you can also see kind of the world built around it as well. Moving forward, I really like the Cutthroat Negotiator. It kind of gives you the POV like you're on the losing side of this deal gone bad, which I think is kind of fun. This next page has several cool options. I really like the art on Damn. Sorry, kids. This one would look really cool with silver signature on it, I think. There's also the Dracula two-sided card, which is pretty cool if you can get both sides of that signed. And on this page, we've got kind of another darker one. This one, I like the Ebondeath Dragon Lich, because dragons, you know, they're super cool. It's also got a full art treatment, which helps. And on this page, I really like having tokens and lands, things like that signed, because I feel like you can just use them and play with them if you want, or collect them and put them somewhere safe. So the food token, the land here. I also really like the Fulminator Mage as well. This page has Glittering Frost, which also has an art card if you're into that. It also has a couple of dragon options, which are pretty neat. This next page really has so many choices. Infernal Grasp is kind of terrifying, but kind of cool. It's got a couple of lands here, these islands. We've got a horse token, there's a double card. So really, so many choices here that could be great. This next page is apparently the page of the horse. We've got a bunch of different illustrations that have horses in them featured, which is kind of fun. Might be cool to get a whole bunch of those. This next page has some really cool, like, epic creatures on it. It's even got a fairy and an angel and stuff. But I kind of like the Minotaur Oppressor art. The colors on it are kind of cool, but also just seems very detailed in the background, but not drawing away from the focus of the Minotaur. Here we have a whole bunch of dragons to choose from. I like the Neverwinter Hydra because the foreground is so dark and the background is so light. It just creates this really cool contrast for the piece. On this next page, easily my favorite for a signature would be this Plains card. It's a promo one, so it might be a little harder to find, but if you can get it, it would be a super cool one. This page has a really lot of epic looking art on it, but I like the Saint Traft and Rem Carolus one, but there's a lot of really great options here. This page has a lot more really cool looking creatures, but I kind of like the Slagwoods Bridge. I think, again, it might be because of the contrast of the foreground to the background, but again, lots of cool ones to choose from. This page actually has two of Lucas's double-sided cards on it, which is kind of cool, but I really like the Steam Vents card. For me, I think it just kind of spurs my imagination to think about what that machine is doing and think a little bit more about the surroundings of it. This page actually has two of the ones that drew my attention the most. Serac and Goreclaw, I think, is just this really cool, like, classic fantasy type of art. And then also there's the Godzilla Swamp. My son really wants to get that and get it signed when we go to Gen Con this summer. This page has this cute little squirrel on it, Toski, Bearer of Secrets, which is kind of fun. I also like the Up the Beanstalk art, just because that background is so intricate as well. And we're finally on to Lucas's last magic page. This one has a lot of dark looking creatures on it. For me, the one that draws the most attention is the zombie, especially if you can get this full art version of the token. Lots of space to sign on. A light colored signature would look really cool. All right, now moving on to Lucas's World of Warcraft cards. I know very little about this game, so I just kind of look at the art mostly. So I really like the Blessing of Kings, as well as the Eye of the Storm art on this one. On here, there's a lot of action on all of these pieces, but I really like the Iron Hammer piece here, the Sparrow Eye. It's just kind of cool, something you don't see in fantasy very often. He's got a rifle, he's got a dragon in the background, just a lot of really cool interest in this piece. And finally, the last page for Lucas. On here, I really like the Skronk Skullseeker piece. It's just kind of dark and creepy looking, but really interesting as well. Okay, and finally moving on to Devin Elle Kurtz. Devin so far only has 4 magic pieces, and they actually all focus around this one character, the Chandra Sparkseeker card. So we're looking at some of those. So obviously her big piece here is the Chandra Spark Hunter. It's got an art card, which is awesome. There's also a few different versions of this, and one thing I noticed is that the versions change the background color dramatically. So depending on what color you're most interested in highlighting on that, you'll want to choose your version carefully. Okay, and on to our last artist of the video. We've got Eelis Kyttanen. For me, Eelis's pieces are really good at drawing your attention to the focus, to the subject of the piece, but still having really interesting backgrounds that you can explore after you've kind of looked at that character or that focal point. He currently has 24 magic cards, so let's go ahead and take a look. On this first page, I really like Celebrate the Harvest. It's just got a big party vibe to it, but I also like the Hearts on Fire piece as well. On his second page, I am a big Lord of the Rings fan, so I like the Knights of Dol Amroth piece here, but the Inspiring Bard is also a really cool looking piece as well. And on the final page, there's really not anything I don't love here. We've got some tokens. The Songbird's Blessing is kind of beautiful in a haunting way, but who can pass up Stu the Conies? We've got Sam and Golem here. Really, really cool card. Okay, and that is all for this video, the G through K artists. Up next, we do have a lot of artists, but some of them have very few pieces, so it won't be super heavy. We've got Deb J.J. Lee, Rhonda Libby, Eric Lee, Marco Menev, Michael Matsumoto, Reiko Murakami, Scott Murphy, and Sean Murray. So check back for that special feature and continue to watch the rest of the videos. Thank you.